we're going to chat a little bit about the upcoming Dungeons and Dragons edition coming out. I say reluctantly.
Yes.
No, I do got to start out with saying I do enjoy what 5th edition has done for the tabletop RPG community. I know I love bashing it. I love razzing it, especially
because it's been top dog for so long.
Right. It's just fun to kick the top dog, I guess.
Yes.
But it is exciting when they're going to have a product that means they're giving some more life vitalizing to the system, to tabletop RPGs in general. So it is nice, and we are a news and reviews show, live stream, so we got to talk about it.
He's talking to himself.
I'm prepping myself, guys. I appreciate you being here and dealing with this.
So I've been binging the D&D Wizards videos, the Dungeons & Dragons main channel, all the videos on their breakdowns. And it's interesting to me because I think, should I give my overall first? Maybe I'll give my overall.
You should, yeah.
I think a lot of what they're doing might be pretty good for the playtest and the information, the points of information that they're gathering. Because a lot of it, they talked about going back to the playtest. A lot of this stuff is coming from Xanathar's Guide. What's the I can't think of it. Unearthed Arcana.
All the Unearthed Arcana.
A lot of it's coming in. We've been joking off screen. I said because we've been calling it 2024. Is that the official? Or does
no? I mean, that's what, if you go to their website, 2024 digital and physical core rulebook bundle.
Okay,
and it says
because that's what it says on their YouTube playlist too.
Right, and it just says Dungeons and Dragons, but it almost feels like because they're calling the 2024 Player's Handbook, 2024 Dungeon Master's Guide, 2024 Monster Manual, because it's still 5e.
Right, because. So I said a hot take that they might be doing good stuff too. So if go off in the chat. But what I was meaning is, I think they're doing where it seems, based on what I've been watching, where they're getting their information on what people want. They are kind of delivering on that. It seems really heavy player, which is 5th edition, I think, has always been more of a player game. I have so many friends, Jacob and Wes included. And then there's Scrat, of course, too. Shout out to Scrat. Everybody drink. Who talk about how hard it is to run 5th edition. And based on what I'm seeing, I was like excited to try the classes. They've got tons of new spells, about 400 total spells now in the book. Everything was like, as a game master, I was feeling stressed.
Yeah.
I'm like, now they didn't talk a lot about the Dungeon Master Guide, so I don't know much about it and I haven't seen it. So I don't know what kind of support is in there, but it's always kind of been that way in my opinion, more of a player game. And I wonder if 5th edition has always tried to branch out and encompass, and successfully so, the largest umbrella of players. My kind of vibe on it is that because of widening the net, of course, you try to please everyone, you please no one. But at this point, I think it's a player pleasing. You get a lot of casual gamers playing 5th edition because it's easy. There's a lot of people playing it. It's well known. Casual gamers, no offense to casual gamers at all, because I can kind of fall in that category sometimes too, even though here I am on YouTube making RPG content. But they like to power game a little more. They like heroic style play, I think. I don't want to, obviously everybody has their taste.
I mean, as one who runs a lot of games and deals with a lot of customers and players,
overall,
you are hitting it correctly.
Shorter term games, not long term campaigns. Because there's a lot of stuff. I think Professor Dungeon Master talked about in his last video how there's a lot of things in level 18 to 20 that they added. And it's like, well, no one's ever going to.
That's the thing. Nobody ever plays that high.
Especially,
because you're already heroic at level 3 and 4 and 5.
Right.
Like, in a way. Yeah.
And, sorry. No, there's so many things I was thinking about. But in that regard, where was I trying to go with it? 5th edition? Oh, that it's not a new system. And we're at the 10-year mark. 10 years in any kind of entertainment is a big deal. You usually want to put something away, come back to it in 10 years because there's new hype.
Yeah.
Most of your fan base is now a decade older. They might want to be introducing it to their children, something like that. Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, they've all hit their 10 years. It's a really important time.
That's what we should just switch everything to Lord of the Rings and talk about how they re-released. Let's just stop talking about this.
You could just go to extended edition Lord of the Rings in theaters.
Yes,
oh, so
original,
good. Some great streams.
Sorry. I just totally derailed that one.
No, but I was joking that it should be, that's where it was. Yeah. I was joking that they should have called it like 5th edition evolved. like the revolution and evolution, or the evolution that's a revolution in games, or some kind of, you know, what is it, anachronism.
Yeah, well, it's funny because they refuse to call it, I believe I read it somewhere that was like, we won't call it 5.5e. But I'm like, that's what it is.
That's what you do.
That's what you're doing.
Yeah, especially because I'm thinking too, everyone's going to shorten things. So I was thinking 5EE, 5EE,
Yeah.
5.5. You could make a whole thing out because everyone calls it 5E.
It's cool that it's backwards compatible. So for people who've bought all the products, you can still use them. They don't feel useless. You're not trying to transcribe them.
Right.
You could just transcribe them to DC20 or a better system, but we won't go there.
Everybody drink.
But
I'm on the same vine where you. Carry on.
no, it seems I'm rebuying all the products for the same
That's
game.
an interesting perspective. I didn't think
From
about.
a Dungeon Master's perspective.
Right.
Now I know it's slightly different. And they've added some changes and stuff like that. But I honestly, every time I look at the price point, I'm like, I'm rebuying this. I'm rebuying it, and I barely run it anyway at this point. You know, with Pathfinder building their entire setting based on their world, which they do well and it feels well, and it's very Dungeon Master supportive.
Yes.
And that's what I look at this, and I don't see them adding a lot of Dungeon Master support. Now, player-wise, I want to be a player. I want to be a druid in this new 2024 system.
I was getting really excited about the Ranger Beastmaster and the monk, the new monk.
The monk, because monks have always been behind the curve.
Reminded me of Pathfinder because they got the new elemental monk.
Correct.
It reminded me of the, what is it? In Pathfinder, the elemental one. I'm suddenly blanking. I'm sure chat knows what I'm talking about.
Kineticist?
Kineticist, thank you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they're adding a lot more options. I found it interesting that they're pulling from a lot of well-tested stuff that's coming from books they've already put out, which goes to your point of buying again.
Right.
Which is fascinating.
Right.
I didn't even think about that.
Well, because that's how I feel right now, because I've already homebrewed half of the stuff they're... Like, when I do 5th edition, the stuff they're adding, I've already homebrewed.
Right.
You know what I mean? And a lot of tables already have.
Now, they mentioned a lot in their videos how important... They were really... I don't want to say harping on, because that kind of sounds negative, but pointing out repeatedly how it's being added to... the core handbook now.
Yeah.
Does that mean, and this is my lack of knowledge on Adventures League, does that mean all this stuff's available for Adventures League now and it wasn't if it was in Xanathar's or Unearthed?
I don't know.
Shout out in chat if you guys know or comment below.
I stepped out of that realm.
Right.
You know, I still run some 5th edition, don't get me wrong, or 5th edition adjacent.
Yes.
But I'd rather not.
Right.
But seeing this come up, I may have to test it out. And
it's real. I don't know. I was just fascinated. Because I hadn't looked into it yet until we were starting to prep for this as much. And with the OG House scandal, Hasbro, Wizards of the Coast, the overarching companies not bringing their best to the table, if I could say it nicely.
Yeah.
Well, they had a lot to prove, or they have a lot to prove.
Yeah, it's
after all of this.
But I'm watching these videos and it felt like nerds. Side note, because it felt like nerds getting excited about a game that they loved, and it's like, oh, clearly there's passionate people there that want to make 5th edition. They enjoy playing it, because at the end of the day, it's an. I wish it was some kind of anniversary edition that they went with for marketing, to be honest, because I think it would have been more well received potentially.